Hello again everyone, I'm Mike Lowe and this is PGA Tour 2K23, and in this video we're going to be diving into my career exclusively here. So just like in the previous edition of this game, you can start at 4 different levels here when you want to start your my career. And let's just jump into the PGA Tour level. And again, it shows you kind of the qualifications and the objectives that you have at this particular level. And we can just jump in there and see what this looks like. So right off the bat, you're able to decide your opponent difficulty, conditions difficulty, and then the number of rounds per event, right? So you can adjust that. And there's some other settings that you can establish and adjust once you get loaded in here. Right off the bat here, again, we're seeing some new, but not completely new, but we're seeing sort of brand recognition in regards to like your sponsorships and so on, right? So now here we have kind of the golf club brand, I guess kind of like an off brand. And what they're saying is that, hey, you know, we're interested in possibly working with you. If you do pretty well here, we're going to reward you with these golf club irons. And that seems to be the standard every time you start one of these. That's kind of what they start you off with. So sponsors aren't new, but what is new is that now you can actually have not just one particular sponsor, but you can have 3 different ones for one for apparel, one for clubs, and then one for your ball type as well. And of course, if you click in here, you're going to be able to see some of the different items that are available. And then you also actually have like a reputation with this, right? So right now you can see that kind of white bar on the golf club one on the left there. That's, you know, we're in pretty good standing right now. We're above that white bar. When it dips below that white bar, you're going to start to see that change and so on. And then eventually we'll be able to go in here and you can sign up for these different things here by pressing triangle on PS5. So whether it's clubs, ball, apparel, and so on, you can establish the different sponsorships again, and you can see the little icons there. It tells you what's available. So like Ben Hogan's just clubs, for instance, but you'll have some different things here, and maybe you want to be patient and kind of let that come to you a little bit more, so that you're not just signing an exclusive deal with the golf club brand or something like that, because some of these higher brands are going to get you better perks and better equipment and things like that, right? So what else here? One of the really cool changes is that you can go in here and you can swap out courses inside of your My Career. You can't do this on every single course, and from what I'm seeing is that you can only do this with like 2K official courses. So like you can't swap it out with like the course that your friend made or the course that your online society is using that was created by somebody or whatever. Hopefully that gets expanded more, because of course there's some just incredible courses that are made for this game, and even some that 2K themselves have kind of promoted that had been created by others that would be really cool to work in, or even just give us an extra option instead of like, you know, the Q School, let you just do like kind of like a custom career, sort of like you see with 2K's like WWE game, where you can kind of create like your own custom universe and that sort of thing. That would be pretty cool, almost like a fictional golf, right? So by the way, when you start at Q School, you're going to see fictional golfers still. I think that's actually kind of cool. Of course, here on the PGA Tour, you will see pros, and I guess what I'm actually reading too from some others is that you'll see both genders appearing in the leaderboard. So for better or worse, it appears at least now, and I haven't tested this myself, but it seems that you will see male and female golfers atop the leaderboard there. So but again, it gives you more pros that are involved. Yeah, so, you know, again, that's just kind of something I was seeing there. So you're able to go in and swap courses. That's pretty cool. Let's just see kind of what that interface looks like. And so again, you can kind of page through, but the pages are probably going to stop here pretty soon. Yeah, so again, you can just do the ones that are 2K official courses, and that might change in the future. We'll see. But still pretty cool that you can at least adjust this and kind of do what you want. You can go in and you can select your rival here. Right off the bat, they're going to give you in tier 1, you have 3 different rivals that you can choose from. We're going to go ahead and pick Ricky Fowler. So it shows you his ranking there, year he turned pro, his age, and then of course you can kind of look through some of the different rewards you get for these different people. So yeah, so again, those things are there, but we're going to go with Ricky Fowler. And then now he is selected as my current rival. And then your rivalries will kind of adjust here as you go up, right? So you can see the different rivalries at the different levels that are going to be available. And then again, you can see male and female rivals coming in here. And I'm fine with that. I know I see plenty of women on the golf course who could kick my butt in golf, guys. So maybe open up to it a little bit. It's okay. Let's see. So Fedex Cup Standings. Again, I don't really think there's anything new here. Again, it's just kind of showing you the leaderboard, which of course will populate more as you start playing. Was there something else on the bottom of the screen? No. Yeah, so it's just showing you the leaderboard. But and then on the bottom of the screen, you can hit L2 or R2 on PS5, and it'll take you over to the schedule. And you'll be able to see here really easily which one of these courses you can switch out. So like, for instance, the Champions Invitational, you can't adjust that. That is locked. The Ace Championship is the alternate event here to the Champions Invitational. And so, but most of these you can go in and adjust to your liking. There's only a handful that are locked as you kind of scroll through and see. I think it's cool too that you can sort by various seasons. So as you get into your MyCareer later on, you can go back to, like, 5 years before or something like that. And you can kind of look at the leaderboards and things like that. As at least that's what it looks like that is. It's just kind of seeing the history there of that league. So similar to your online societies, it's going to be tracking some stats and records and things like that. So there's, again, a lot, and I said this in a previous video, in the overview video I did, which you haven't seen that's on my channel as well, just kind of going over the entire game. But I think what you're seeing here is a lot of improvement on things that are in the game. And there are some new things for sure. But I think a game's in a really good place when they're able to build on what's already working. So if you're coming in looking like, oh, is this a completely new game and everything's going to look completely different? It's not. But you're going to still see a ton of really, really cool additions and enhancements to things that were in the game, but are just a lot better now, right? So again, just pretty cool options here. Just different things that you can go in, and just kind of peruse around. I talked earlier about the settings and some of those other options. So we saw these when we first created it, but then you also get some more detail here once you load into the MyCareer and then go over to the settings page. So you can adjust your CPU skill, and this says determines how skillful the opponents are. Higher the value, the better opponents will be. And again, I'm not exactly sure how that's like opponent difficulty. But I know difficulty definitely impacts the actual scoring. And then this one is how skillful the opponents are. So I don't know if that's just kind of like how much, I don't know, how creative they get in their shot crafting and shot shaping and things like that. Not exactly sure. Here we have CPU event skill deviation and CPU round skill deviation. So again, events kind of like it seems to be kind of like the parent to the round skill, right? This is kind of more, you're going to have like deviation from the mean versus, round to round. And this is kind of maybe like event to event or within one particular event as kind of like the parent to this round skill deviation. And then CPU attendance, that's literally just showing you, are they ever going to like back out of events? And as it says there, modifies the likelihood of players attending events. So of course you can go in and adjust the kind of stuff you were able to do last year with wind and just kind of the firmness of the course itself. And then just really the number of rounds that you want to play based on the type of event that it is. So again, is it a complete overhaul revamp of MyCareer? No, but I don't think it really needs to be. Is it the deepest MyCareer you're going to find in sports gaming? No, but again, it's not really something that I think we had high expectations on that being when we see games like NBA 2K. But again, we are still seeing this being built upon. And sure, there's an argument that maybe after a couple of years since 2K21, there could be a little bit more here. I think that's a fair criticism. But overall, it looks more enticing to me, at least. I didn't play a lot of MyCareer in 2K21. I would dabble in it a little bit. It did not keep my interest all that much. I mostly played in online societies with this game. And but I do feel more of a draw with MyCareer this year. So yeah, I think it's going to be pretty cool. I'm definitely going to be using it as kind of my tune-ups before societies get going. And then, of course, you can still jump in here and adjust your MyCareer. And if we went into further detail on all of these here in the overview video, so again, check that video out if you haven't seen it. But pro shops where you can make purchases. Your locker is like all of your things that you currently possess, but aren't necessarily like say in your golf bag. And then of course here you can adjust your golfer. You can even select your own caddy there. So again, there's a lot of different things you can do. Round to round, you can go in and you can make adjustments. You can actually, not only can you upgrade your skills, but of course you can actually reset those. You can see there for 500 currency kind of on the right top of the screen. You could go in and reset these. And as we know later in this game, 500 currency won't be as much as it is when you first get the game there. So far for my career player, because we're going to be going through and just kind of playing a little bit of this, and I'll show you some of the highlights. I have really focused on putting. I mean, I'm just kind of following the whole, drive for show, putt for dough. And I figured while my player starts to develop, I want to just focus on putting because, hey, if I can cut down on some of those 2 and 3 putt holes, that's going to be super, super helpful. And so that's where I put my 2 skill points that I've earned so far. The archetype that I'm using is really just kind of focusing on rhythm. I'm sacrificing some carry distance. And again, the archetypes is a new thing. I went over this a little bit in further detail in the overview video. But basically you can be a good putter, somebody who can drive well, somebody who's consistent, somebody who's really good at shot shaping, or somebody who specializes in recovery shots. And again, these all have strengths and weaknesses. And if you want more info on that, as I mentioned, another video. But so let's see what else. What I was saying is I like to go in and just check my equipment, right? So not only can you check your skills and your archetypes, you can go in and adjust different things. So like for instance, I was going in to adjust the ball type because not only do you have ball appearance, which we've had in the previous games, we now have ball type. And I had a bunch of these unlocked when 2K sent me the edition of the game here that I'm playing. We have quite a few different options to choose from, but these aren't free and they are finite, right? So I'm using this Aviator EV1 pack. It's an epic level or rarity, I guess you could say, ball sleeve. And how this works is each of these sleeves come with 3 balls. Now, it's not like real life where you hit it out of bounds, you lose a ball. It's per round, right? So I could play 2 more rounds with these Aviator EV1 packs. And my understanding is that's going to be in whether it's societies, whether it's just in like a local game you're playing with a friend on your couch, or if it's in here in MyCareer, or even at Top Golf, if you're going to be playing in there, it will use those. So you want to be careful. Again, if you're just kind of playing with your little nephew or something, maybe come in here, go to your ball type, and maybe set it to default or something like that, right? So, but these are this is just one way you can go in and filter these. I'm using the because my player is not going to be hitting super hard right now. I'm kind of giving myself some boost to ball flight. And again, that's not necessarily strength, right? That's ball flight. I mean, I think plus 50 to strength would be pretty overpowering. So this is just impacting the ball. But anyway, you can go in here, you can kind of set yourself up. Keep in mind, like when you load into a society tournament, once you load your golf bag, that's it, right? So even if I came in here and replaced like my 5 wood with like a hybrid or something like that, it's not going to update until that next tournament for that particular society. Once you start a society tournament, you're going to be kind of locked into what you're using there. So just keep that in mind. That's how it was in the past, at least. And so again, I think we're set to go. The fittings I haven't actually put on yet because, and again, fittings we've gone over in another video as well, but fittings are basically a way just to kind of, just as you'd expect, adjust your club, get it custom fitted, and you get perks and you get a little bit of like penalties based on how you're using fittings. I wanted to apply this to all of my irons, but I don't have the cash to do so right now, right? So I only have 70 currency and I need a lot more than that. I need another 200. So yeah, that's what we're kind of saving up for at this point. And yeah, we're just going to jump into MyCareer and just kind of see how it goes at the PGA Tour level. I've heard Tiger Woods is pretty darn good in this, but let's jump into the first event and just kind of see how it goes and see what's maybe new as we could play through the PGA Tour level of MyCareer.
2K Sports and the PGA Tour are delighted to bring you the season-long race for the Fedex Cup.
Today's coverage of the Bluff Championship is about to begin.
Pleased you could join us for this first round action.
I'm Luke Elvey alongside Rich Beam in the booth. And it's hello to Henny Koyak down on the course following our featured group.
Hi Luke, great to be with you guys. Now this group will be one to watch today. Lots of chatter on social media leading up to this pairing. We have a rookie on tour who has set very specific goals for themselves, and their first one is to beat their playing partner this week.
Love it, Henny. This will make for an extra layer of excitement.
So let's jump into some gameplay here. We're on the 5th hole, and so far I am one shot behind my rival Ricky Fowler, who they've shown a couple highlights of his shots here in the first round of this tournament, much like they did in 2K21. But I can show you just kind of just some of the basic gameplay. We won't show every single hole here, but we'll just go through a few holes here live. Again, it's going to feel very similar to 2K21, but that's not a bad thing. There is plenty here that's different, especially when you start getting into like the 3-click options here, which I'm not using. I'm not very good at them, but I know some people are going to like it. And the good news with 3-click is it's not as easy as you're probably thinking a 3-click system is. It's still going to take some coordination and just kind of some getting used to. What else is new here? Again, in this game, 2K talks a lot about just kind of the ball mechanics, ball physics, and ball flight have been updated. Again, it's a little bit vague in the notes that they sent me, but still, you can feel it. I'm still getting a feel for it, and it's probably just something more that you'll see in this video and other videos of just kind of how that looks. As far as settings, this is default pro, just kind of out of the box, the settings that they have me using here. So I haven't adjusted. I like to turn a lot of these visuals off, even like some of like the wind speed and things like that. I just like to see kind of like a general wind direction. But I just like it to be a little bit more challenging. But nonetheless, this is kind of default. I didn't want to turn all of that off here when we're trying to kind of showcase the game for y'all. So.
Oh, that was flushed.
Or like those teal ball trailers. Not just a huge fan of those. Stay out of that rough. Just a casual 320-yard drive. My guy's not even a powerhouse.
Heat up on social media. We've seen a number of other players that call each other out. What have you made of this social media age?
Well, you better have thick skin if you're going to get into the social media arena. Thankfully, they didn't have it when I was out there on tour because I don't know if I could handle it. I certainly couldn't be trusted with it.
Ooh, good bounce.
But I think if you're going to go into that arena, you have to treat social media like it's just something that it's fun to do. If you do go down that rabbit hole in social media, you better be prepared for the consequences.
I feel like this is going to go flying according to the arc, but why would a pitch go that high? Or a chip, I should say, yeah. That seems weird. Let's just see what happens. Okay, not too bad.
Chance to get one under the card with this putt.
My guy's super tan. I'm definitely not that tan.
This one's tracking.
Was on a good line.
But so far, the controller, it does feel a little bit more fluid. It's not as maybe like jerky as it felt, at least, is what it's feeling like to me. Still pretty early. Trailing Ricky Fowler, by the way, 2 strokes.
Off on this par 4 hole. I've seen worse looking swings at a playground.
Maybe we'll get another lucky bounce here. Through the tree. This is like real golf. For me, at least. Through a tree, into some rough.
And what are we looking at here, Henny?
Setting up here from about 145 yards.
And choosing the 8-iron here.
Wow, did this come out beautifully?
That's inside the house of opportunity.
Outside chance here for the birdie.
Didn't quite have the right stuff there.
Sometimes when you try and get it up the hill, you just forget to hit it sometimes, and it seems so in this case.
Whew. Lucky roll
Now we
there.
go to the ninth. This happened a moment ago. Bubba Watson's known for some of his artistry. Let's take a look. Wonderful effort. And how did that great shot impact the score? Let's have a look at the leaderboard. The leader now has a one-stroke advantage.
It's kind of a weird replay because, I mean, we didn't see the ball at all. So maybe just a little touch up there to the replay system for 2K this year. So we're picking things up here on the 8th. I'm still even, about I think I'm 3 shots behind my rival, Ricky Fowler here. And just kind of keep going here and see settings. Yeah, again, I think even with all the visuals on and even the putt weight visuals, which I usually keep off, it hasn't been super easy. I mean, I'm still even, so it's not like I'm just birdieing every single hole. But of course, we'll get better, all of us here, as we start playing the game more.
Let's take a look at Harold Varner the third from earlier.
Third shot now.
And one of the things that I did notice, there's a better replay. It's really hard to explain, so I forgive me ahead of time. But just when I use the right stick to swing, and like I miss something, or I have a little hook on it, or there's a little bit of a slice, like I can feel it a little bit more this year. Whereas last year, it just kind of felt like it was very controller-y, if that makes sense. This time, it actually kind of feels like you're swinging a little bit. It just feels a little bit more realistic, which is pretty cool. So again, grain of salt, I guess. You'll just have to kind of see how it feels for you. That was not a great putt.
What's in front of them, Henny, with this putt?
Setting up this putt 10 feet from the cup.
Ah.
Oh, just missed. And this one is for bogey.
I do think some of the animations are maybe a little overdone. Like they showed a replay of Ricky Fowler, and he was just like losing his mind on an approach shot that landed on the green.
And a little slide down the standings after that hole.
But presentation's always been really clean with this game. It's calming. Visuals are clean, easy to read.
Reached the ninth hole. Time to tee off.
Bounce back ability. I love that term. Do they have it here?
Oh, you couldn't paint a better picture. Gorgeous swing.
Still got all the different camera angles, of course, here as I flip through and see. So that's all the same.
From around 170.
Can't wait to see what all your powerhouse drivers out there are going to be hitting. If I'm hitting 311 as a guy who's not a power swinger.
Going with the 7. Good shot there. 16 feet to the cup.
Surely it's going to.
That was a narrow miss.
This is a par putt. Well hold. Let's move on. 9 holes down into this rivalry, Rich. How are you rating their performance so far?
It's early, Luke, but this player is trailing their rival.
All right, so we're picking things up here on the 16th, still in the first round. Hasn't been the greatest round, +4. Had a water hazard around, I think it was like hole 9 or 10. But I really do like the way the game's playing so far. Again, even just at default, even with all of the default settings on. It's good. It feels good. It feels challenging in the right ways. Ooh. Took the risk.
Look at this lie.
Looks like they have a bad lie here in the second cut.
Did you get all of this one?
Ooh, just barely stayed out of trouble there.
Time now for the fourth shot. Just taking a look at this one, Rich. Do you think it's makeable?
Look, I got to say, I'm really not liking their chances here, but you never know. Stranger things have happened.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
a good way to end.
take
It
it.
was a challenging hole.
Yeah, in the bunker, off the tee, great recovery.
And now at +4 for the round.
Always like to see your name moving up the leaderboard. Never a bad thing.
We have a short par 4 ahead of us here.
Really hoping they play this one aggressively.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Second shot here on the 17th.
Definitely noticing my chips are like, oof, way more, like a lot more roll on them, even with the lob wedge.
Think they can make this one?
Look, I really don't think
I used to
this is gonna
sink a
happen, but you know
ton
what?
of
I've been wrong before.
chips with my lob wedge. I mean, just hole them out all the time. And so again, I think that's probably a good change. I'm not used to it. I'm used to kind of getting those extra strokes, but or I should say removing those extra strokes that I now have to take with my putter, but I think it's a good change. It's fun when you hold those out, but not when you do it every round.
Woods back in his familiar spot. Currently on top spot as we pause for a look at the leaderboard.
So yeah, there's the Tiger Woods kind of dominating that I mentioned. I've read that from some others as well, that he's kind of
The final hole.
the top dog here. Not a huge surprise.
Uh-oh. They've hooked this one.
Hit the tree, do it.
He's
Oh,
hit a tree
nice. Into the sand, just like real life.
there. The buried lie in the bunker. Doesn't get much harder.
Real life for me, that is. I don't mean to insult all of you. Well, we're not going to hit this anywhere near. And I don't want to have this, just going to get it out of here. That is fine.
Playing up to an elevated green here. Going with the pitching wedge here.
Into the water. Straight, hit the
This
fountain
one's
maybe.
heading to the
Nope.
hazard.
That's my second hazard today.
This is their 5th shot.
Oh.
It's going to find the water, sadly.
So again, definitely seeing some of the different ball physics here.
Here's their 7th shot.
Swing physics, ball flight, whatever you want to call it. But I don't mind it. It's good to change it up. Oh my gosh.
That was a bit wayward.
I'm going to keep trying this. It's more about
On that one.
just kind of getting these adjustments down. Just gonna let that ball roll so you can kind of see the physics there. And again, a lot of other elements are gonna play. Whoa. Oh my gosh. What in the world? Okay, that did not exactly roll like I thought. I was gonna say, I think that sometimes the, you know, just there's so many variables now, right? Again, the grips and the different shafts you can fit on your club, and the fittings themselves, and of course the balls that you're choosing, the sleeves. So you're seeing a lot of that kind of happen here. I assume we'll kind of see some tweaks. Maybe, again, the Unity engine here is just doing a little bit of, like that last roll was pretty wild. It rolled the right way, but it was almost like it got a little bit too much momentum going there. But kind of a rough first round there, plus 10. I was doing okay in the beginning, and then just started getting a little creative with what I was trying to do there. But so again, you can kind of see just the way the golfer levels up this year, pretty similar to years past. So let's keep looking around though and see what else we can find here in MyCareer. So as I just advanced out of the first round here, you can see I've received a couple new items here. We have an iron power grip that I can go and fit, and then a 250 currency reward to go along with the 25 I had for one of the course goals. So ended up making 300 in cash there on this hole, or I should say on this round. So again, just to kind of give you an idea of the payouts and how they're looking. So exiting out of the first round, just kind of looking at the different options, we can of course continue the event. I was surprised to see though, the only thing I can do is withdraw. Like you can't actually like simulate it or move ahead. So that it doesn't look like there's really a close way to, you know, just tear through maybe multiple seasons of MyCareer if anybody would ever want to do that. But you can at least go in and withdraw. If you feel like it's kind of a wash there and you just want to move on. But yeah, right now it just kind of looks like that option's not there. I thought that option was there at the start. Like you could simulate it, but I could be wrong. I'm going to go ahead and just withdraw from this tournament and just kind of see what it does. So it's simulating it, but I'm assuming without me in it. And then here, and by the way, you can still go in, you can still adjust your rivalry. So if you wanted to change that, you could, at least in the particular tier that you have unlocked. And then let's see, oops, if we go into play event, lets you begin the round. Let's see what other options it gives us here. So, oh yeah, so you can just skip the event. So I guess that's very similar to withdrawing. So, and then you can also see even down here, even after withdrawing, I'm still in good standing here with my sponsor, the golf club, for the actual clubs. You kind of get the gist there with the PGA setup. We're going to reset MyCareer, and then I'll just kind of show you what it looks like here at some of the lower levels too, because I know a lot of you like to start in Q School, and it's going to be a pretty similar setup, of course, just kind of on a, I guess, a simpler scale. We can go ahead and set those back to 4. I'm not actually sure what the Q School uses for the number of rounds, and the same thing here, right? So it starts off exactly the same. You get the same sponsorship. Rivals are only available in the PGA Tour, so that's fine. And again, you're going to get a lot of I'm assuming these are fictional golfers. I truly don't know, but maybe some are real, maybe some are not. There's a lot of Alexes in the field, it looks like. So, but yeah, you know, this is I know a lot of people like to start here. You can still do the exact same sponsorship information. You can unlock these different things as you go. And then my understanding is that you can build on Q School and then, of course, work your way up to the PGA Tour. So I totally understand why this would be a popular place where you'd want to start. But everything else looks to be kind of the same. You can click on the different schedules and so on. It looks like there's just the one event, though, huh? Let's see. Oh, because it's just the Q School. So you go in there. We missed out on promotion, right? So it's kind of like an entry level tournament, so to speak, in case you're unfamiliar with it. But that's the objectives. And if you don't make it, it just kind of kicks you back to the start, and you can just start all over there. So again, we're just going to jump right back in, and it just resets the whole thing there. So that's how the Q School looks. And of course, you would be able to work your way up once you get past that final. But everything else here seems to be functioning the same. You're going to get all of the same exact settings. It's really just kind of the layering that's different when you start looking at the Corn Tour versus, say, starting in the PGA Tour. So let's real quick look at the other two options that are available. So this, of course, would come after the first promotion out of that Q school. Same thing here. You can adjust the rounds. And so again, it's rinse and repeat a little bit here, right? But that's understandable. You're working your way through the ranks. Here again, a much shorter schedule. Looks like you can change all of these. Yeah, so all of these you could actually switch out if you wanted to. So that's pretty cool. One can only assume that it's going to look exactly the same here. If we go in and load up the third option after this resets, which is the Korn Ferry Tour Championship. And so this would be the last promotion here before the actual PGA Tour. So again, you can set everything else. And I like how it really gives you some good information about the opponent difficulty. It kind of breaks it down so you're not just guessing like what's different between normal versus hard or very hard and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of ways you can customize this to make it more challenging for yourself, which is super cool. Let's see. Even the one round's kind of neat, right? It's kind of just sets it up like an all or nothing. It's like playing in the NFL playoffs or something. So again, here, got your events, Korn Ferry Tour Championship. That's, again, just kind of an all or nothing thing here. So to get you, I guess, up to the PGA Tour. I don't exactly know how all these events kind of connect in real life, but I'm guessing it's set up pretty similarly here in the game. Where you can go in and just advance through the different ranks. So again, I think that's pretty similar to what MyCareer was doing in PGA Tour 21, but there does seem like they have fleshed out more options. And I think when you combine that all with the gameplay enhancements, it's definitely an improved mode to me. Again, is it earth-shatteringly revolutionary? No, I don't think it is, and I think that's fair to call that out. But it is progressing. It's still going to be a lot of fun, and it's actually a mode that this year I'll be playing. So I'd be curious what you think of it. How do you play MyCareer? Is that where you kind of spend most of your time? I'm curious because I want to learn more about it myself. So if you'd like, please leave a comment. Go ahead and like the video too if this was helpful. And if you'd like, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That'd be really, really cool because we are always doing sports content here as far as sports gaming is concerned. Really, really focused on realism. And I haven't even gotten into like the different settings I like to use, which makes your screen really clean. It makes it really, really challenging and realistic and that sort of thing. So we do a lot more than just PGA Tour on this channel. I'm always kind of talking sports gaming, and you have all been a really, really big part of that, of just us coming together and being a community and helping each other out. So thank you for watching this, and I appreciate you all, and I will see you next time.